Welcome to this monthly group healing session. This month's topic is chronic pain. I'm Angie Tourani, holistic healthcare practitioner, BodyTalk practitioner and instructor. So if you're struggling with chronic pain in any aspect of your life, physical aches and pain, something that has been debilitating your life, well, this session is to support you. I would want you to take a quick review on how you're feeling in this moment. And you can put it on a scale 0 to 5 about any pain, discomfort, or even emotional stressor that could be impacting you. And review it around a week, 10 days after listening to this session. So for now, sit comfortably. If you like, close your eyes and just follow my voice and just listen to this guided sort of distance treatment. So distance treatments work amazing because of this concept of quantum entanglement, which means the mind simply doesn't have any barrier of time and space. And BodyTalk treatment is an energy medicine. So we are working with a consciousness-based system. So I would tune into this relaxed alpha state of mind, which we call Mindscape Workshop, which is a weekend workshop you can learn from the same International BodyTalk Association, from the same founder of BodyTalk system. So for now, just sit comfortably and tune in and just relax. I'll get into this alpha state of mind, Mindscape Workshop, and I'll connect with the energetic blueprint of this collective consciousness with this theme of addressing this session for chronic pain. Now, first thing that is showing up as a priority is brain balancing. So I'm going to work on balancing the left and right hemisphere of the brain, which is the codices technique. And this is optimizing the flow of qi and circulation between the two halves of the brain. Now, everything that is problematic in the body is mirrored in the brain in form of cold spots. So with this technique, we are looking at running a reset on this whole left and right hemisphere of the brain and optimizing the circulation between these cold spots. So this technique is for relaxation. This is for optimizing the nervous system, getting your brain out of the state of stress and anxiety. And now we are balancing the limbic brain. So the first technique is brain balancing. What I'm picking up is chronic pain. We are looking at dehydration. So hydration is just not about drinking enough water, it's about cellular hydration. And when the cells are not absorbing water, then it could contribute to inflammation. So what I'm focusing on with this piece of treatment is addressing cellular hydration, specifically through the cerebrospinal fluid of the brain, through the nervous system, and the myelin sheath, which is the fatty tissue around the neurons. So one of the core functions of the nervous system is basically communication, and myelin sheath is all about our habit patterns. So we'll be working on optimizing the circulation, specifically with easy water. Easy water is also called structured water. It is the fourth phase of water. And this is H3O2. So our body uses easy water to support with hydration and all the different metabolic functions. So we are focusing on hydration of the central nervous system, cerebrospinal fluid, as well as the myelin sheath. And we are looking at what is contributing to the body not being able to utilize this easy water, which is the fourth phase of water, for its functions, and specifically through the nervous system. And what I'm tuning into is emotions. So we are made up of 80% of water, and that's where we store emotions. So I'm specifically picking up emotion of fear, anxiety, and anger. So whichever one is relevant for you, your nervous system would tap into that. So I'm setting up this treatment where we are sort of putting a search and retrieval program on the computer of your nervous system, which is the prefrontal cortex, to look for this theme of fear, anxiety, and anger. And we are going back in time to around 10 to 12 years. So it's like how you're putting a program on the software of the computer. It will scan all the emotional charges with that theme of fear, anxiety, and anger. And we are working with this particular technique and treatment called active memory synthesis, which is all about surfacing that emotional trauma, being able to disassociate it, synthesize it, and release it. And I'm setting up this filter for this treatment on the nervous system and on the head, heart, and gut brain, as well as through the easy water, which is where we store the memory of these emotions. So I'm going to work with optimizing and clearing this emotional built-up stress and being able to synthesize it and release it through the diaphragm and intestine. Now this looks like is the causative factor that is contributing to the cellular dehydration, which in turn is contributing to inflammation and amplified inflammation, which is one of the factors behind chronic pain. So I'm looking at also another thread in this treatment, which is heightened inflammatory markers. And these are epigenetic markers. So epigenetics is the layer on top of DNA. And this layer, you can imagine, is like on and off switches, which could be disrupted with our environmental stress. And in this particular case, what I'm picking up, it's the emotional stress that we are working on. So we are looking at these epigenetic markers that have switched on these immune cells, and I'm specifically picking up the natural killer cells and the T killer cells. They have switched on these immune cells into heightened production of the inflammatory hormones. So I'm going to run a treatment called cellular repair at the level of DNA, RNA, and at the level of epigenetic markers for clearing these heightened epigenetic markers. So sort of running a reset on these immune cells so they can function in moderation and not produce these heightened inflammation. And now another thing that is showing up as a priority is gut microbiome. So we are looking at running a rehab treatment on the ecosystem of the gut microbiome, and these are various different species of microbiome that are slightly out of balance. Some of them are missing. And the gut microbiome and immune system works hand in hand. So when these gut microbiome are under functioning, which would contribute the immune system dipping it into heightened inflammatory mode. So I'm running a rehab treatment on optimizing the gut microbiome. Again, one of the key functions of the gut microbiome is how we handle stress. So if you are hypersensitive to stress or you are resilient to stress, that is controlled by this gut microbiome. If you're hypersensitive to pain or you've got high stress threshold for pain, is again dictated by these gut microbiome. So this gut microbiome imbalance is hugely impacting the chronic pain and the stress hormones. So we are going to run a program called rehab treatment, and this is for balancing this whole ecosystem. Now, each one of us have a very unique ecosystem which makes our personality. So this treatment is about finding that particular balance for you and sort of running a reset on the gut microbiome. Then another factor that I'm picking up as a priority for addressing chronic pain is emotions and belief systems. Now our body has got capability to experience pain only 4 out of 10. So if somebody breaks a bone, whatever tough situation happens, the body can experience pain only 4 out of 10. Now, many a times when we are experiencing pain 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it is our belief systems and perceptions. So we are going to work with these centers of the brain, which is called singular gyrus. This is the limbic brain, this is the emotional brain, this is all about our belief systems and perceptions that are sort of amplifying this echo of the pain. So the center of the brain you can think about as being a drama queen, which is taking a small signal of pain, amplifying it, and keeping you in that constant anxiety mode and amplified perception of pain. So we are going to run a optimization program on specifically the right side of singular gyrus for addressing all those belief systems and perceptions that are amplifying the pain. Then we're also working on optimizing the lymphatic drainage, the lymph nodes, where the immune system travels through. I'm working on a particular acupuncture point, and this is the lower dantian point, which is about kidney and adrenal complex. Now, with heightened stress hormones, the adrenal is sort of burnt out with constantly producing high stress. So this particular treatment is to strengthen and reboot the kidney adrenal complex by balancing this lower dantian point. So we're working on a couple of acupuncture points such as GV4, governing vessel 4, conceptional vessel 6, bladder 23. So BodyTalk treatments, you can also call it as acupuncture without needles. Okay, so this is going to reboot the kidney adrenal complex for bringing in more energy and vitality. And now I'm running a reset on the head, heart, and gut brain for setting up the synchronity to be able to balance the stress. So this particular treatment, we are going to go ahead and tap it out. So it was hydration at the cellular level, addressing the search and retrieval of all the emotions from the past 10, 12 years, addressing your epigenetic markers, your gut microbiome, kidney adrenal complex, and these stress hormones, as well as the singular gyrus, which is all the belief systems and perceptions. So I'm going to set up this treatment by activating the central nervous system. So if you like, you can tap on your head, heart, and gut. Or even if you just want to listen to me, I'm working on activating these 3 brains. All I want you to do is take a few deep breaths. And I am programming this treatment. Everything that we've surfaced and worked on. So BodyTalk is energy medicine. I'm tuning into the consciousness of those meridians, those microbiome, cellular hydration, and everything that we worked on and we are working on using these simple holistic healthcare treatments to address the body and mind by activating the central nervous system to fix it, heart brain to store it, and gut brain to assimilate it. Okay, so that's the treatment for today for chronic pain. So just drink more water after the treatment. The treatment will go on for a week to 10 days. It will run throughout the 12 meridians, which is the 24-hour cycle. And I would say surely take a score on how you are doing in a week to 10 days time with your aches and pains and whatever parameters that you checked before the session, and see what improvements you feel. And I would love to hear from you. So thank you. See you next month. Bye-bye.